I find any excuse to stretch out my calves a little bit a worthwhile excuse. I think my Achilles are very tender. I think all this working at Super Target, standing on my feet all day and stocking shelves, kind of crouching down, and has been tough on my feet and my ankles and my legs and my knees and all sorts of things. Good morning, Robert. And setting the phone down right here, lean it against my water. You see? I said, hey, that feels, I don't know if that feels good or it hurts. There's a fine line between pain and pleasure when it comes to stress. But anyway, hello, good morning, Robert. Hello, Jay. Hello, Ken. Hello, Mike. Hello, Alex. It's a beautiful morning. I read somewhere in the news that the air quality was low again. Apparently those fires in Canada are still going on. And the wind was blowing our way. So when I woke up this morning, saw the gray haze over the sky, looked up at the sun, and it was that cool kind of slightly covered sun, but where you could look at it and see the whole orange fiery ball. Let me show you where I'm at. I'm coming at you from Naperville, Illinois. I'm sure a lot of you know. It's a beautiful town of about 145,000 people, about 35 miles west of Chicago. Let me show you the sun. I don't know if you can see it behind me. Don't know if you can see it behind me or not. Show you down Jefferson Avenue. Show you the other way down Jefferson Avenue. Show you the Starbucks I was just shopping at. I don't know if it counts as shopping if you're just picking up a cup of coffee. Show you some pretty flowers. There was a little improvement made over the last few years in our beautiful downtown. They widened the sidewalks a bit, maybe narrow the streets. I don't know. They had flower beds and turned out really pretty. Don't know if we've gotten the traffic back that we had for many years. I know at nights it's very crowded here, but the morning seems so quiet. It's amazing to me. It's 8 o'clock, and there's very few people walking. I mean, there's a couple people here and there. There's some people walking their dogs, but I don't know. For a summer morning, I thought it would be a little bit more active. Anyway, good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Ted Scheckler says everyone is hungover from last night. It's perhaps they are. Perhaps they are, but I am not hungover. Feels good leaving that feeling behind. I rarely drank unless I went to a wedding or what have you to such excess that I woke feeling so horrible that I could barely move. But I did stop drinking about, 18, 19 months ago. And it's nice to wake, even if you don't sleep as long, with a fairly clear head every day and not having that yucky sort of burning sort of feeling not right feeling you wake up after a night of drinking. But anyway, good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and as I said before, this is Coffee with Ken. This is a show I started a long time ago. Started about just over 4 years ago on a different platform, and was going through a dark time in life and struggling a little bit. And I always realized that talking maybe to friends usually, or to a therapist or what have you, made me feel better. And I woke one day probably feeling really poopy and had no friends or therapist around, and just did it to my phone and did it live. And good morning, Finnegans, and good morning, Richard. did it live, and people started watching, and people started enjoying it and feeling that they weren't alone in life, and that everyone has some struggles from time to time. Even this outgoing guy with a big smile, felt hurt inside from time to time, and was working on himself and trying to get a little better, and I don't know. But anyway, for those that have been watching a while, it's not just a show about me talking about the highs and lows in life, the roller coaster that it is life. It is also a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And with that in mind, I got a nice hot cup of coffee. It's freshly brewed. I had to wait a little longer to go live today because she asked if I wanted them to brew a fresh pot before she poured mine. I said, what the heck? Let's do it. And I am so excited to take my first sip on this Sunday morning. My only hope is wherever you are, got a dog coming my way. Wonder if he's going to want a sip of my coffee. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Good. I'm just looking at a bunch of cops doing like a parade or something.
Are they?
Yeah.
Are they coming this way?
I think they just turned on Washington.
Oh, okay. Oh. Hi, puppy. Hello, puppy. Hello, puppy. Oh, you have a good day.
Oh yeah, she loves that.
Yeah. Where was I? Oh, I'm excited to have my very first sip of coffee. And my only hope is wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you got a hot cup of coffee in front of you as well. I hear there's a parade going down the street. Some flashing lights. I wonder what the occasion is. Hope they're not coming for me. Excuse me, sir. You're loitering on the street corner, talking to your phone and about to take a sip of coffee. You're keeping the audience waiting. They want their first sip, but you keep getting distracted. And I apologize for my distraction. Well, thank you so much, Finnegans. Finnegans, are you a plural? I wonder if the Finnegans are a man or a woman. But anyway, I'm excited to have my first sip of coffee, and I hope wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you have some coffee as well. Cheers to us. There's a siren. Can't take my coffee with such distraction. Oh. Sometimes I almost like to tease myself, torture myself, withhold it from me for a few extra moments as random stuff comes out of my mouth. It's really not that purposeful or that strategic, but I get distracted pretty easily, and sometimes I've gone 5-10 minutes without taking my first sip of coffee. Hello Meg, and the Finnegans are from St. Charles, the plural Finnegans. We have maybe both of them watching. Good morning.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Woman walked by wearing earbuds. Thought she was talking to me, but she was talking on the phone. She probably thinks I'm talking to her. Hello, Julian. Julian Assange, that's funny. The Finnegans, I've fished in St. Charles, I've fished in North Aurora, I've fished in Batavia. I used to fish a lot. The Fox River runs, I don't know how far it is, maybe 10 miles west of, or it runs north-south, but it runs, it's about 10 miles west of where I'm sitting today. And it's a bigger river than we have here in Naperville. A lot of really good fishing, and caught a ton of smallmouth bass there. And smallmouth bass, I don't know if I should talk about fishing. I think we got a fair number of women in the audience, and now I'm being slightly sexist. But I'm assuming the women that are watching on a Sunday morning might not want to talk about smallmouth bass fishing. I don't know what they want to talk about. Did you? All right. But anyway, a lot of good fishing over there, and spent a lot of days, and I was going to say summer days, but sometimes in the fall's the prettiest time to fish. The weather's cooling, the smallmouth bass are getting a little more active, and just had great days fishing along the dams that are in the river, some of the beautiful natural areas along the Fox River. And I I don't know, just fond memories. So let's have a little more coffee. It's Sunday morning. I slept in today. I'll tell you what, it feels so good to sleep in. For those that have been watching a while, you know I'm working at a Super Target. I was a realtor for 17 years. Sundays are my day off. They're probably my favorite day of the week. Good morning, Sarah. I spend them with my little nugget of love, Augie. I have a 2-year and 2.5-month-old son. I got to find a better way to say that. I don't want to say 26.5 months. That's too mathematical. But recalculating, maybe I'll just call him a 2-year-old until he's 2.5 or close to 2.5, and then I'll round up. Hey, thank you so much for following the host. But anyway, I'm recently divorced. I got divorced in February. My second divorce, actually, which is kind of sad and weighs heavily from time to time. I'm feeling really good in life, and I'm doing a lot of good things. But every once in a while, I catch myself feeling a little blue and then realize divorce is a painful thing to go through. There's huge transformations in life. For me, I've done a bunch of changes personally, but again, a career change and a family style change and a family life change. And I don't know, sometimes I'll be out and about and I'll see a family, like there's a young couple walking my way pushing a child right now. Good morning, John. And makes me wish things were different and wish that, I don't know, I was still in the family unit and walking with my wife, pushing our beautiful children down the street or what have you. But just wishing for things doesn't change it and doesn't make things different. And I do believe things happen for a reason. And we are meant to be exactly where we are right now, doing the things we're doing and living the life we're leading. Doesn't mean we should be totally satisfied or accept where we're at. I mean, I think it's important to work forward and take good steps and try and be the best people we can and smile a little bit more and love ourselves a little bit more and do better things and what have you. But I think it's important to be okay with where we're at today. And again, because I believe we're exactly where we're supposed to be at this moment. Blake says I have a radio voice. I've heard that before. I remember as a kid, you didn't hear your voice nearly as often because there wasn't a phone that could record every word we said, or there wasn't the amount of video use that we have today. Video cameras were rare. Now everyone's got one in their pocket. And so you wouldn't hear your voice too often. And there's a cop pulling up. I always worry. Did I do something wrong? Fortunately, I didn't do anything wrong. Not this morning. I mean, I've done some things wrong in my life. Not too much. Not too much. I don't want to get into it. I've talked about it before. I've had one significant run-in with the law in my life. And I think that, although it didn't immediately impact changes, I think it was a warning sign. I'll just say I got a DUI about 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago to the day. And remember feeling really embarrassed about that. And the worst part of that, I mean, there was a ton of not good stuff about that, let me promise you. But the hardest part about getting the DUI, was having to tell my dad. And, because I knew he'd be ashamed or disappointed. And, you don't want to disappoint your dad. My dad and I have had a, up and down relationship over the years, but you never want your dad to be disappointed in you. And I remember that morning, a bunch of weird things have to happen after a lot of stuff you got to do when you get a DUI. I would strongly recommend not doing it sitting at an attorney's office and going, oh my God, I got to tell my dad. And again, there was massive financial stuff. There was, a lot of bad things involved, a lot of, legal stuff, a lot of things you don't want to get involved with. But again, the one thing that stands out to me most is having to tell my dad. So anyway, I didn't quit drinking immediately at the time. I still, drank. I was certainly more careful, but I wasn't totally careful. It's ridiculous because I'd still go to a bar and still have a beer or two and then drive. And I'm going, this seems like a slippery slope. And I think a lot of people probably walk this slippery slope. And one day, a couple of years ago, I said, this is stupid. I don't like this. It feels, there's parts of, my life I was enjoying, but there was so much of my life that I didn't enjoy, and so much of my life I wasn't happy with. And I thought, I'm a believer in habits, and the habits make the man or the woman. And if you add good habits to your life, you're going to be a better person. And if you take out bad habits, you're going to be a better person. And I had two glaring habits in my life, and they were drinking alcohol and smoking pot every day. And I just realized that wasn't, I'm 54 today. I guess I was 52 at the time. I probably got 30 years left, and I don't have a lot of time. I know 30 years seems like a long time, but time goes really fast. Hello there. And I knew by drinking and smoking pot every day, that wasn't putting my best foot forward. And I want to do the best I can. And even when I trip up and fall or do something wrong, I think I've grown enough to accept that I'm going to fall and screw up from time to time, and I'm going to forgive myself and love myself, mistakes and all. And I think it took me a long time coming to that point. And, I'm not perfect. I still kick myself and still have bad thoughts in my head about myself, or go, Ken, what are you doing? Or Ken, that was stupid. Or, but I usually catch myself saying that and correct myself now. Adrian said, love how I'm able to take everything as a learning step. Adrian, I guess I was going through so much stuff, I didn't see any alternative but to take it as a learning step. I think 4 years ago when I started Coffee with Ken, my mind was just running, and I would have negative thoughts after negative thoughts after negative thoughts, and I had a negative life, and I hated myself, and I hated life, and wasn't feeling good in any way. And started listening to some positive affirmations, and that helped a ton. Started going to church on Sunday mornings, where I'm going today. And I almost haven't stopped going. I stopped going for a while during COVID, and feels good to be going back, and feels good to, it's just a nice atmosphere. It's a nice atmosphere. Somebody asked, do I have an addictive personality? I would say I do. My whole family does things in excess. We were a bunch of runners. We'd run a bunch of marathons, or we'd drink coffee, or we'd do whatever. But anyway, as I was saying before I got sidetracked, Sundays are my day with my son Augie, and I'm picking him up in about 40 minutes. And it was kind of weird. I usually wake pretty early. I usually wake around 5:30 most mornings. And slept in till 7:15. Felt so relaxed waking up. Didn't even hop out of bed, just kind of laid in comfort and pulled my cover around me. And realized I had to pick up my son, or got to pick up my son, in an hour and 45 minutes. And I felt good, and I felt like talking to you guys a little bit more this morning, or talking a little bit this morning. Started driving to one Starbucks that I've been going to lately, and then realized, hey, let's go to this downtown Starbucks location. It's a nice location. I'm going to show it to you again, but it doesn't have a patio. It doesn't have a patio. I'll turn around. There it is behind me. There it is behind me. And it doesn't have a patio. It's a huge corner location, recently reopened. And at nights it's packed, in the mornings it's quiet. And I think that's maybe the nature of the town these days. And, but nice people and nice workers and great interior. But again, it doesn't have the patio. And for some reason I've wanted to sit outside and enjoy a cup of coffee. And that's what I've been doing. How often do I deal with depression and anxiety? Great question, Michael. Every day. Every day I deal with depression and anxiety. I'm so much better at dealing with it now. I have tools in my toolbox to deal with depression and anxiety. Last night I was feeling kind of bummed and kind of sad. And I don't know, I think 5 years ago I would have woke up bummed and sad today. But I kind of said, I cut myself some slack. And learn to accept me as I am and forgive me and not get angry at myself for being bummed or sad or worried. And like last night, I was kind of feeling sad, kind of feeling alone. But I realized, hey, I'm divorced. I am alone. I'm sitting here out to dinner by myself. In a perfect world, I think things should be different. Prayer does help. Prayer helps a ton. And I realized this morning, I think there's two types of prayer. There's probably more than that. I don't know. I'm on a spiritual journey, I guess. I guess we're all on some sort of spiritual journey. And oftentimes I'll reach out. I'll ask God for help in dealing with something. And I had something on my mind. Honestly, I don't even recall what it was this morning. And I was going to reach out and ask for some help. And instead, I thank God for, something. I found a reason to thank God. And that felt kind of nice because, I don't know. I'm sure our friends, are there to help us and offer assistance and what have you. But sometimes our friends probably appreciate just being acknowledged or thanked or knowing we were thinking of them. I bet God feels that way too. I bet God gets tired of everybody needs encouragement and gratitude. So I think it's important to thank God. It made me feel good. Again, not asking for anything, not even feeling like I needed anything, and realizing that life's, that I have a blessed life. And that I woke up from a good night's sleep. And hello from Dublin, Ireland. So many thoughts I want to say about Ireland. Haven't spent much time. I haven't really spent any time there. I stopped in airport on the way to Scotland where my mother grew up. And that's my experience with Ireland. But I assume, it looks very similar to Scotland and is beautiful like Scotland. And the people are neat like Scotland. And I'd like to go back to Britain and Europe and do a little more traveling at some point. But I'm enjoying where I'm at right now. Adrian asked if I've ever been in Skokie. I think I probably have been in Skokie. I don't recall being in Skokie. I don't remember anything. The only thing I know about Skokie is something historical that went on in the 70s there that made national news at the time, and I'm not going to bring that up right now. I'm not going to bring that up right now, but I don't have many memories of Skokie, and I don't have many memories of Skokie. So go see Sound of Freedom. I did see Sound of Freedom. John said, if my divorce is final, that's a good thing too. Yeah, it is. It was sad. And I think I'm just coming to it was final in February, but I'm just coming to the realization that it was final, that it's final. And coming to the acceptance in it. Maybe I was in denial. Maybe I was waiting for things to change. Maybe I was hoping for things to be different. And just recently, I kind of accepted that things are the way they are supposed to be, and that we're not supposed to be together. And sometimes I still feel sad about it, but I'm still getting better at accepting it and being okay with it, and rocking and rolling as best I can. So let's have a little more coffee. Oh, still hot. Don't know if I'll have time to get a refill. What TV shows do I watch? Oh, what TV shows? I don't watch much TV. I've been watching Suits, which is on Netflix a little bit lately. I've been watching Suits a little bit, and I think it's okay. I think a lot of shows, especially those that come out on Netflix, I guess I don't know, but the ones I've watched, they always start real interesting. You kind of get hooked, and then they kind of just making up the story as they go along. And you wonder how much you care. I found that with me, how much the main actor, what's her name? Meghan Markle, who married Prince Harry, is in the show Suits. And she's got a love interest in the star of the show. And I was just watching it the other day going, wow, I'm only watching this to pass some time. And that was okay, because I didn't really care about their romantic relationship that much. Homemade caramel macchiato for me. Oh, that sounds delicious. Am I working to manifest a new vision? I don't know what that means, John, exactly. You mean post-divorce? I'm manifesting a new vision. I mean, I got work to do. Every day, I've been working at Super Target for the last, 5 or 6 months. And that is a stepping stone position for me. And it's been a good one, and it's taught me a lot of things. But I've been looking for a new job, and I've been sending out resumes and sending out applications to various jobs. And I thought about it a little bit over the last 24 hours. I don't know. The job search is so much different than it used to be. And a little bit I was moaning to a buddy of mine saying, oh, it's ridiculous. They get 10,000 resumes and they get 10,000 applications for every position. It used to be you'd open up a paper and you'd look in the classifieds and it said jobs available, and you'd say, hey, there's a job. I have to go into this office and apply in person or mail in my resume. Now, within 2 minutes, I can apply, I can upload my resume, I can do their little questionnaire. And if I'm doing that, sitting in the comfort of Starbucks, there's people all over doing that, all over the world, applying for these same positions. And I don't know how I feel about it. I think, for me, I think the best chance I have, I think my resume's okay. And I don't think adding flowery words is the issue. I just think it's okay. But I think where I make an impact is when I'm face-to-face with somebody, or even over the phone with somebody. If I can get in front of a hiring manager and hand him my resume and shake his hands and look him in the eyes, I think he'll remember me. But if he sees my resume going by with a stack of other ones across his desk, it's hard to stand out. It's a lot harder to stand out. I understand that it's efficient to pre-screen applicants. I talked about working at Target a little bit ago. Coast Life said it's effective and efficient. I took a job at Target in February, and they didn't even meet me before I was hired. And I just find that strange. And, there's been a lot of people that have come and gone So maybe it's efficient. I don't know that it's effective. I might argue with you how effective it is. I don't know. Maybe I'm just old. Maybe I'm just old. And I appreciate the value of a handshake and looking somebody in the eyes and getting to know somebody a little bit more than what you can see on a resume. I think I could tell more about a person within 10 seconds than I could by reading a resume. So that's my thought. They don't even have to talk to me. They don't even have to say a word. I can feel a person's energy and feel a person's personality and the way they move, the way they look at me in the eye or shake my hands, or I can feel it on them. I can tell by their smile, or they're averting their eyes, or they're looking me in the eyes. You can tell so much by body language and just the energy of a person, or at least I can. And I know things aren't going to go back. But either way, I think I could submit 50 resumes a day online, and I think in 2 weeks I'd still be have 700 resumes submitted and applications, and probably I wouldn't, we'll see. We'll see. But I think if I go on walk in and meet somebody and shake somebody's hand or hand them a resume, I think I'll have a whole heck of a lot better opportunity to get a job. And I think that's probably how I'm eventually going to get a job, or my next job, by going in and shaking somebody's hand. So, a little more coffee. It's 8:30, Sunday morning. Got a Pop-Tart waiting for me in my Starbucks I want to nibble on. I get to go pick up my little nugget of love in half an hour, and I'm so looking forward to doing that, and squeezing them, maybe going shopping, picking up some snacks for us for the day. If I have time, we might stop at a different Starbucks, because he likes getting a cup of coffee, or he doesn't like getting a cup of coffee, although he does like coffee when it cools. Hello, Gina. But he likes getting a pup cup and eating the whipped cream and eating some pretzels and eating a banana and eating some oranges and spending his morning with me, people watching. We both sit around and we people watch at Starbucks. He gets watched more than he watches, because he's the most adorable, beautiful little nugget of love. And it's fun to have him out and show him off and take him to church and drop him off at the little kids center, and all the ladies love on him so much. And people at the end of the service will come up and say how beautiful he is, because he is beautiful, and he is beautiful, and he is precious, and he is a gift to me, and is going to contribute so much to this world, and already has, just with the goodness that comes from his soul and the goodness that he is. So I'm excited to see him, and I'm going to enjoy some more coffee, and I appreciate you guys for hopping on today. Means a lot to me that you choose to share a few minutes with me on a Sunday morning by trying to do this 7 days a week in some form or format. And I want to thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for spending some of your morning with me. Hope you had a wonderful night's sleep. I hope you are feeling good. I hope you are loving yourself. I hope you're forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.